Hello, viewers, and welcome back to the Renewalism show. So, today is a very interesting episode. It's a very interesting question. Who is Guru Pranachandra? And for those renewal, well, all this is born out of a book, and that's what the book looks like. It's available on Amazon, it's available on Flipkart, and various sites across the world, Barnes and Noble. If you head over to renewalism.com, you can get hold of the book, and the links to all the sites worldwide are here. You can also get an ebook at a nice little discount. Renewal talks about renewing human consciousness. It is big. I was wondering whether to say it is the biggest movement that is possibly happening in this century. It could well be, because in the last century we saw the technology movement. We saw a lot of technologists. And I would say, and I'm backed by Guru Pranachandra when I say this, that the number of renewalists could far exceed the number of technologists on the planet. They could even exceed the number of Catholics and Hindus, for all you know. Because what we're talking about in renewal, and as a movement, let me just give you a streamer on the screen below. We're talking about a change in lifestyle, small habit changes, individuals making changes which add up to a lot. So it's those little micro habit changes that you and I make at a level of ourselves, at a level of our interactions with the planet and with others, and at a level of the systems that we have developed. And it could result in huge change all across. Now, it remains to be seen how many adopters, how many early adopters we have, and that's what we would call a renewalist. The first renewalist on the planet or off the planet in the universe is Guru Pranachandra. Now, why I say off the planet in the universe? He's got a LinkedIn page. You just type Guru Pranachandra, you'll get there. He's got a Facebook page. You type Guru Pranachandra and you'll find him. But as it says on both those pages, he exists only as energy. Now, this is a question I've been getting often, that Sandeep, your name appears in the book, you're not the author. That's what the preface says in the first paragraph, the first line. And the author is Guru Pranachandra, but who is this guy? Well, let's first understand energy. All matter is energy. All right. Einstein proved that. So even scientifically, we can rationalize that. If all matter is energy, then all all of what you see and what you don't, the air around you, is energy. Now, if that's a given, and that's also easy to understand because air has atoms and atoms are vibrating, so everything is a vibration. So just different frequencies. In fact, we discussed this in an episode with Arjun Iyer just a few days ago. Very interesting one. Do watch it. If everything is just moving at a different frequency, then everything is interchangeable. Now, I say that in November, December last year, I was in a field where the vibrations around me directed me to write. I had an intent to write. I was taking the time out to put together a book, but I had no idea what I wanted to write about. I have a passion for human consciousness and habits. And that's been something that I've been nurturing since about 12 years. I wrote a couple of books in the meantime, not on the subject. But so this time I thought, yeah, habits, consciousness, I know the connection, I know the impact that can have, but it's a dry subject. Suddenly Guru Pranachandra introduced himself. He didn't say, hello, I'm Guru Pranachandra. He just said, write about Shekhar. Who's Shekhar? I had no idea. He said, look at the word renewal. So I googled up renewal. I found there was not much to say about renewal except for renewing insurance policies. Renewalism, one liners on Wikipedia or here or there, not much of a concept. I was inspired by one word books, like the book Grit, for example, a very commonplace word, but a word that stands for something thanks to the book Grit. And likewise, emotional intelligence, for example, right? Renewal is one of those kind of words, I thought. So then I was guided to write the first few words of the book. This is the book. Well, it's alongside me. I guess I can take it off for the moment and instead replace it with the man we are talking about. Guru Pranachandra, ladies and gentlemen, himself. The first lines of the book then were Shekhar always knew his deadlines. The car insurance was due for renewal every September before the 11th. Renewal, in the standard use of the word. Where do I go with this? And as I went along and I outlined Shekhar's family, and I found that Shekhar's family bore allegiance to this man you see next to me, Guru Pranachandra. They thought of him as the guru, the guiding light, the spirit, the one who had changed their lives in ways which were uncommon because it was a shift that was produced by themselves. It was not a shift that was imposed on them by anybody else. So they invited this Guru Pranachandra to their little soiree and had him speak to an audience of about 100, 150 people. Close circle, you know. And when he spoke, and the bulk of this book is about what he spoke about, it was very interactive. A lot of questions and answers. A lot of characters who just stood up, introduced themselves, and threw in a perspective to what he was saying. Not perspectives that I had, that I discovered as I kept writing. And then, thanks to the fact that the family had been established earlier, the family was able to relate with certain practices, certain habits that he was enunciating, which they had already been practicing. And that makes it so much more relatable because now you can put yourself in the shoes of a normal teenager or a grandparent or the mid generation Shekhar and his wife and see how those habits are so easy to adopt and implement. So while that gave dimension to the book, that also gave a fictional track, which makes it a little engaging because the track plays out right till the epilogue. And actually, the epilogue puts together what really happened during what was the undercurrent of the fictional track. All right. So, Guru Pranachandra is an energy form that kind of used me as a medium to channel this entire block of thinking. And he says that these habits could well be what saved the world from self annihilation. I'm going to read to you now the talk. All right. That is the second major section after the introduction of characters. And this is the talk, like I said, it happens at a little gathering in the Kapoor family's house. The Kapoor family is the in laws of Shekhar, just to contextualize. And a rich family in South Delhi, they've called him over. And he starts. After Avtar Singh Kapoor introduces him. With a nod and no pleasantries, Guru Pranachandra began. Once upon a time, Ram and Sham got into an argument. orchestrating his voice loud and robust, perfectly with perfectly and sorry, orchestrating his loud and robust voice perfectly with his animated fingers and arms, the guru established at the outset that this was going to be a lot more dramatic than a bedtime story. I'm going to do this book reading for you. This is a chapter of about 7, 8 pages, and it contextualizes everything that's to come. Ram asked, if there is life at the end of the tunnel, then why has no one ever come in from there to tell us about it? Ram was sure that there was nothing but darkness and oblivion out there, and that attempting to push through that tunnel would be like inviting death. Well, I don't know, said Sham, but yes, we will meet Mother out there, and she will take care of us. Pranachandra continued, pausing between characters, changing his tone from a cynical one for Ram to a pacifying one for Sham. And Ram replied, Mother? Do you really believe in Mother? That's laughable. If Mother exists, then where is she now? She's all around us, Sham said. We are surrounded by her. We are of her. It is in her that we live. Without her, this world would not and could not exist. Well, said Ram, I've never seen her, so it's only logical that she doesn't exist. And Sham replied, sometimes when you're in silence and you focus, you listen intently enough, you can perceive her presence, and you can hear her loving voice calling from above. With that brief prelude, the Guru had ensured that he had his audience captivated. Now it was time to begin with the subject formally. Ladies and gentlemen, as you might have guessed, this was a conversation between twins inside their mother's womb. The strange thing is, our life outside the womb is governed quite similarly by our consciousness. Consciousness is something that we all have and live because of and respond to every second of every minute of every day. But the funny thing is, nobody knows what it is, where it is, or how to do anything about it. I also don't know. I can only sense it. I feel it in an awareness of my connection with everything and everybody, animate or inanimate. If I can respond to that awareness, then I am conscious. If I cannot, then I am unconscious. It is so simple. If one of you throws a toffee at me and it does not come into my conscious awareness, I will get hit. If it does, I might duck as a reflex action. If I get hit and even then it does not come into my conscious awareness, I might not respond because I'm unaware that I have been hit. This happens to us at a physical level quite often. Mosquitoes or other small insects bite us, and we seldom take notice of them. We make no conscious response, right? Taken to an extreme, in the thick of war, soldiers sometimes receive bullets and they continue to fight while blood falls off their bodies. And finally, they fall to and die without conscious awareness. Here's the one. Stretching himself to full height as he sat with his legs crossed and hands lightly placed on his knees, the Guru donned an expression of seriousness. At a mental level, this happens to many more of us, those who go to offices. On a typical day, we get up in the morning, get ready, do some things mechanically, get into the car, and go. We do things through the day that we don't know why we're doing. We don't know what is the pressure about doing them, and we don't know what the ultimate purpose is. To what end? We simply go back and forth, and then we return home and maybe do some things in the house, maybe spend some time with the family or with the TV, and then we go to sleep and repeat the cycle. This is the life of the zombie, Guru Pranachandra stated matter of factly. He was ensuring with his words and actions, raising his hands often to stress important points, that no nonsense was to be expected that evening. Switching to a compassionate, educative tone, he continued. The life of consciousness is one where you would get up in the morning and connect with yourself inside of yourself. See how you're feeling. how every part of you is feeling. That is what you are. These parts were born with you, they will die with you. Why do you take them for granted? Why does everything in the outside world seem important while everything in the inside world appears inconsequential? Why do we lose a conscious connection with our entire inside world until we have to be carried away in an ambulance? Why does a near death experience often trigger a new outlook on life? Why don't we generate a conscious renewal for our own lives even while we live it? A lot of questions, poignant ones. Monica was thrilled to see the guru playing her Pied Piper before their social circle, which he had carefully curated. As her mind went over several attendees individually, she could see how they fitted that zombie definition quite precisely. When you go to office, you must ask questions about what you are doing. Your consciousness is designed for far greater things than pushing papers and typing emails. You must question the choices you make about doing things and do those that have an impact on raising human consciousness. Those that foster meaningful relationships, those that provide insights and make us more enlightened than Ram or Sham. By doing so, you play an unexpected role in saving the planet, the Guru stated with a particular emphasis on you, or rhetorically underlining the last sentence. Then, to explain the basis of his argument. The fact is, our consciousness as a human species took a drastic turn many millennia ago when we started farming. It was a lazy way of life. We moved away from our habitat. We moved away from adapting to nature and started getting nature to adapt to us. This was a fundamental shift in consciousness because this was the point when we stopped checking inside us and instead started making the outside our priority. Equipment and tools for agriculture, types of and cycles of crops, and how to control all that became all important. Developing better and better means to do less and less became praiseworthy. And today, this has got us to the point where robots do most of everything. And yet, we are too lazy or have forgotten how to use that extra time to go inside of ourselves. In the last 200 years alone, we have spent billions and billions of dollars in connecting with the world outside us faster and faster. That is technology. From printing presses to motor cars to the internet to WhatsApp. And we've spent nothing on the technologies we have to look deeper and deeper inside us, which are meditation and mindfulness, which intensify our awareness and truly help develop our consciousness. We have unfortunately cultivated the habits of valuing the things we make, like phones and cars, rather than the things we are gifted by nature, like our minds, air, water, and stuff. The warped value system is what we can change by simple habit switches. When we get conscious of what is inside us, we can be more conscious of what is outside us. When we can control what is inside us, we can more naturally control what is outside us. That is how, as hunter gatherers, we coexisted with the vagaries of the weather, water, predators, and so many other external factors. Even today, a few of us continue to nurture such connections, but we call these people sorcerers and witches. Science, with its limited understanding of interdependence and practically zero knowledge of human consciousness, does not have the means to measure any of what shamans, saints, yogis, energy masters, and lamas can accomplish through their oneness with nature. And therefore, our consciousness, with so called scientific temperament, ridicules these people. At the same time, the attempts to artificially recreate what we can do as a natural process when we point our consciousness inwards. The creation of Ganesha by Parvati was a manifestation of artificial intelligence and superlative robotic engineering, bioengineering. Cloning has been mentioned in both Western and Eastern scriptures, which predates history and therefore is debunked as myth, mythology. What we still retain in recorded history and continuing practice are aspects of using our life force energy, chi, ki, or prana. A daily connection with such a life force is the starting point for achieving more and connecting with higher universal consciousness, with the mother who is all pervasive. And this is why I believe that we are now ready to reinitiate an era of higher human consciousness. You play your unexpected role in re embracing ancient wisdom and practices and bringing commonsensical aspects of it into your daily routines. This is what I will share with you today, here and now. But before I start, I would like to say thank you all for coming. I would like to answer your questions first so we may empty your cups before attempting to fill them. Smiling, Guruji raised both hands, ushering questions to arise in his direction energetically. Shekhar was the first to catch his attention, and Pranachandra motioned to him, knowing that he would set the right tone and momentum for the ensuing session. That ensuing session, ladies and gentlemen, takes us through technology, takes us through meditation, takes us through mindfulness, takes us through a lot of the gnawing questions that you might have started having with this introduction. And hopefully, those questions are answered in this book. Write them in your comments. I would love to copy paste pages of the book which answer those questions. And if not, we'd love to get into a new conversation with you on that. So fill the comments in here with whatever comes to your mind and get a copy of the book at renewalism.com. Thank you, Guruji. The name Pranachandra too came from those vibrations. I found on Google that there was no Pranachandra, even though they're very common words, prana being life force energy, as he stated, and Chandra being the word for moon in Hindi and Sanskrit. Very common words. But he's the first Guru Pranachandra to exist on the planet. And not without reason. He's a renewalist. The byline of this book is Your Unexpected Role in Saving the Planet. You are renewalists. Let's join together and make the movement that you see here on your screens made much bigger than get subscribe to this channel so that you keep getting notifications of the episodes which are happening every day. Tomorrow I'm going to continue with a little bit of book reading because there are nuggets of Pranachandra's wisdom, and I'm just going to place a few of those nuggets before you, not as a chapter, but as little lines for you to chew, munch, nibble, enjoy as you taste them. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll take leave of you for today. Be sure you subscribed here so you keep getting the notifications of the episodes. 9 p.m., same page, we meet every day. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night.